variety pack. Food and friends with Canada's best. From east to west, there and back. Eat North Variety Pack. 'Cause variety's the spice of life.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Eat North Variety Pack. I am one of your lovely co-hosts today, and I'm joined by Carmen, Cheng, and Steve Rochoux. It's Steve's first time co-hosting, so welcome, Steve.
Hi, thanks for having me. I've got big shoes to fill. I'm very excited.
Well, I think technically small shoes to fill, because Mairlyn is sort of
She's so small.
smaller
Yes.
stature, but but you're right in terms of
personality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anyway, let's just jump right in here. So I just got into Edmonton right now, and Steve, you're based out of here. So what are things like in Edmonton in terms of the restaurant scene and everything that's happening related to the pandemic?
Tense. With our cases going up, you're kind of stuck in one of those things of what happens if the government shuts us down again, like they do in Toronto? We've pivoted so much already, and again, you throw in the coming winter, and that just makes everything even harder. And now people are investing in outdoor patios. The city's been really nice by letting us keep our patios open and try as hard as we can to have outdoor dining available, but there's some places that are going to be affected again by this. And then also with the downtown areas, when it snows, people now have the options of staying at home staying at home to work. Mm-hmm. So they won't need you to even come downtown, mm-hmm. or to White Ave or to any of their office spaces. So that's going to play another challenge into everything too.
Absolutely.
Sure. Steve, could you maybe let our viewers know like what you do and your background?
Oh, right, yeah.
No, I just think that you have such a fascinating story.
I'm the owner of a small cafe downtown Edmonton called Milk Crate. We're also a catering company as well, and we've been pivoting quite a bit during the past 7 months, but we're hanging in there.
Yeah. And you opened Milk Crate like in 2020, right?
We opened Milk Crate, the cafe, June 2019, the catering company, March 2019. And it was around like late December where we started hearing about a virus coming out of China, and didn't really think anything of it, and kind of started watching the news in January. Then February, we started making some plans and discussing lines in the sand, like, okay, here's what we're going to do. Then everything escalated very quickly. We quickly switched to a delivery model where we just drove taking big items to people, and then we started online cooking classes as well, where we actually dropped the ingredients off at people's houses or gave them shopping lists, and we just cooked over Zoom.
That's great. I think that's when we first had Steve on the show to talk about that, the virtual cooking classes and whatnot. But earlier when you mentioned the winterizing of the patios, we never really talked about that on the show, and I think it's actually an interesting thing to bring up, because our Calgary mayor, he did sort of suggest kind of in a blanket statement that all these restaurants should just winterize their patios, but that option is not available to everybody. It costs tens of thousands of dollars. So we're really only seeing a few restaurants in Calgary do that, just because others can't afford it. So I'm sure in Edmonton it's exactly the same situation.
It's the exact same situation, and you're taking now an outdoor dining room and an outdoor customer that was comfortable outside at a picnic table or a patio table, but you're now putting them back indoors again. Mm-hmm. And some people's comfort level just might not be there, especially with some very family-centric holidays coming up as well, where people are going to be kind of forced to be indoors more. And I don't know if customers are going to be wanting to support their restaurants in that way, which is a question for you guys in your travels. Have you seen or have any idea of how an outdoor diner that might be afraid to go indoors can help support their local restaurant?
Carmen?
Well, I haven't traveled much, but I will say that I have some friends at varying levels of comfort with COVID and dining in. And I like how you talked about the need to pivot and doing Zoom classes and, dropping things off. And I feel for businesses. I've been a business owner. I think that, it's so challenging this year. I couldn't even imagine. And I think that the pivoting continues. I think takeout is I mean, the good thing is I have some friends with really, really young kids, and during COVID, some of the like really, really elevated, nice restaurants in town started doing takeout, and they're like, I wasn't able for the last year to get out of my house, with my baby, and now I actually can order takeout, a 3-course meal from this restaurant that I haven't been able to visit, in the last little while. But I think that there's a lot of onus on restaurants, which is unfortunate. Chefs to continue that pivoting, think about the takeout model, or think about, like you're saying, like online Zoom classes. Or I was invited to a like Chef Meets BC Grapes event, and usually they do like judging, pairings. We did all virtual this year, and they delivered 9 bottles of wine to my place and like 3-course meal with
Sounds
video.
like my kind of dinner for sure.
But it was a video tutorial on how to like make the dishes, and there's still some element where I was able to connect with the chef because of that, right?
Yeah.
Dan, what do you?
I think when you looked earlier on in the pandemic, I think there was a huge push for people to support takeout, right? There was the Canadian takeout campaign and all of that. But I think as summer went on and patios opened, people sort of forgot about that. So I don't know if I have any new tips for encouraging people to support local restaurants, but I think maybe just reminding yourself that there are so many amazing independent restaurants doing interesting takeout. And all these restaurants, we're assuming that they would, they would lose the patio space, couldn't winterize, would be doing extensive takeout programs again. And also in the news right now, there's a lot of stories about, delivery services taking a lot of fees from restaurants, so the profit margin via things like Skip the Dishes, DoorDash and whatnot is quite low, generally speaking. So if you can pick up your food from a restaurant, that actually does make a huge difference, right, Steve?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also it gives you a chance to see the restaurant, right? And for them to see you. If you're a regular restaurant, it means so much to the crew there to see the regulars, because they haven't seen them in 6 months. We've been worried. And it's shocking. And also if you're a guest out there, I would say, and come up with a crazy idea and pitch it to your favorite restaurant. Like, hey, I'm having some friends. Well, I need help making family supper for 4. And then if the chef's not doing anything that Sunday, FaceTime them in. Get them in there. Give them $100. Make them do it.
I love that idea.
Yeah, that's great. Maybe there's a business idea there for us.
I think the key message is supporting local, right?
Yep.
I think when all of this is over and there's a vaccine, like, who do we want to be left standing? During COVID, I've been to Costco once, and I've always loved supporting our farmers market, community natural foods, like some of our local businesses and restaurants. And I think even more so right now, like, I'm finding myself tipping a lot more, even on takeout or delivery, like trying to tip that 20%.
Absolutely.
I normally would just dining in, because it is hard for everyone.
Good for you. That's awesome.
100%. And so our first guest on the show, Carmen, you're going to chat with Mairlyn, or you did a bit earlier today. This is a pre-taped segment, but we're chatting with Mairlyn Pak, who's a judge on Top Chef Canada, also recently launched a custom chocolate line. But it's been interesting also from a TV production standpoint, because she obviously can't share too many details about the show, but because of the pandemic, filming a new season of Top Chef Canada is not as, not what it used to be. So she'll talk a little bit about that, and I think it's a really interesting conversation.
Yeah, and I mean, Mairlyn is somebody who, like, she talks about, going to 600, 700 restaurants a year.
And you to shame, and we dine out a lot.
I don't dine out as much as you and Mairlyn, not 600 or 700, maybe 200, maybe a year. But it's been an interesting year for her, because she hasn't been able to travel. So we do talk a little bit about that. It was a great chat.
Awesome, great. Well, let's play that now.
Sure. Hi, Mairlyn. It's so good to see you. It's been months since I've been able to see you in person. How are you doing?
I know. I used to come out to Calgary at least like once every, few months. You used to come to Vancouver. Yeah. I miss you guys a lot.
I know. We miss you in Calgary too. So where are you now? You're in Vancouver? Because I know you're in
Vancouver. Yeah. I just got back about 2 weeks ago. I was in Toronto, obviously, filming for Top Chef Season 9, which airs spring 2021. So that was really exciting.
Awesome. So I know you probably can't get into the details, but how was it different in COVID times or in 2020 with the pandemic to film Top Chef?
Honestly, it was so different this year. It was really challenging for the cast and the crew. They definitely made their efforts to protect everybody, like the cast, the crew, everyone working behind the scenes equally, with the social distancing, everything. And they weren't going to film us with masks on. So to take like extra precautions, we had to do COVID tests every 3 days or so, almost every other day. For some people who were on set every day, they were getting tested every single day. Luckily, we didn't have to do the one that goes like all the way up here, like the 4 centimeters up your nose. We did the one that just goes like 1 centimeter up. Apparently, people who get tested super often, this one is too invasive, and because you're getting tested so often, the early stages are around here anyways. Okay. So we lucked out with that, but everyone was tested. Visors. Every location we were shooting at was like sprayed and sanitized for at least like, I don't know, it was like 24 hours or 72 hours before we could even enter. Every single thing we touched was like constantly wiped down. There was like someone sanitizing the handrails, our doors, every single thing, like at all times of the days when we were working. It was insane. It was like, I don't know how they could have protected me anymore except for having me in like an astronaut suit. Crazy.
And these challenges are things that probably production has never experienced before, right? Like, I'm assuming.
No, never. No, yeah. I work with Insight Productions, and they also film Big Brother and Amazing Race and our show. So they kind of are leaders in the industry. Well, they are leaders in the industry in terms of setting up a benchmark for safety and measures. And they wrote like an 86-page like protocol kind of thing, that like a handbook that we had to kind of all abide by. So it was super intense. Like all our food for catering, it's usually like catering. Everybody goes and you self-serve and everything. This year, everything was in boxes. We usually really spoiled, and we have breakfast in the morning where someone makes us breakfast. This year it was no breakfast because they wanted us with like the least amount of contact with anybody as possible. So even with the car service and people pick us up to the morning to go on set, that was canceled. They rented us cars this year, and we had to drive ourselves to like lessen the exposure. So yeah, I mean, there were tons of things, initiatives done to make sure everything was safe. And it was scary because I remember the first day them telling us like all the measures they were doing and what they were going to do. And then they were like, but don't worry, because if anyone gets sick, including all of the judges, the hosts, the chefs, we have a backup plan. Which to me, I'm like, there's a plan B for me? Like, who's replacing me? You know what I mean? Like, it makes you so scared. You're like, I better not get sick, right? So it was kind of nerve-wracking doing it, but it was just like, made it through the season. Luckily, nobody got sick, and that was that.
Oh, that's great. That's great to hear you got sick and that everyone was safe.
Yeah,
talked about this quite a bit on our show here too, just around how admirable it is to see businesses pivot so much, and certainly a lot of restaurants and chefs have had to pivot so much in 2020, and sounds like production too. But I have to give you kudos because I've been following you for years, and you've done a lot of pivoting this year on your business, and pivoting in terms of from going out to all your like hundreds of restaurants to dine in, doing your like cooking at home with Mijun, doing your like wine with Mijun. And then there's a big pivot right now in terms of even launching your chocolates. So I was hoping you could maybe talk about that.
Yes. Oh my God, Carmen, you're amazing. You have a really good memory, by the way. So yes, I mean, the word of the year is definitely pivot. I think all of us had to kind of change how we approach, our industry. We're in service, hospitality, restaurant. It's like all of them are literally dying right now, and it's so heartbreaking. So yeah, I was doing a lot of IG lives and stuff like that. And I think it came to the point where it's like, nobody was looking for you are looking for money to keep your head above water. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, all of us are suffering. Let's do what we can to support each other as a community, which I think that's where the silver lining comes in. It's just like so many in big companies supporting the little ones. It's like they're expected to do so right now, right? And everyone's pitching where they can. And so for me, me at the same time, I'm directly affected because my business is food and it's travel, right? I can't do any of that. So right now I decided to launch chocolates, which I launched them before. I launched them a year and a half ago. This year I'm working with Shea Christoph. Have you been to Shea Christoph in Burnaby? Okay, so he's
Christoph. I went because of you, because you posted about a cake, and so for a family birthday, and my family loved it. So we ended up getting it for like my dad's birthday last year too, and there's like a matcha sesame one that my family loves.
There's that one. There's also the pistachio with the strawberry, or pistachio with blueberry, sometimes depending on the season, which I absolutely love. And you know your food so well, so like I'm so happy that it met your standards. I was like, okay, Carmen, I know her standards are super high. I hope she likes it. But I knew you were gonna like it because he's one of our top chocolatiers, in the city, in Canada, from Switzerland. I met him about 10 years ago. I was the first person he actually reached out to. So 10 years ago when he came here, he was kind of looking at like food blogs and stuff like that, reached out to me and was like, I'm a chocolatier from Switzerland. I'd love to like get into the industry. I want to eventually do my own thing. Like, can we meet? And he gifted me this like, handmade chocolates and stuff. And, since then we've been friends. He bought my heart with chocolate. No kidding. Yeah. And so we've been friends ever since. And then, it's a little bit always tricky working with friends. I mean, you work with Dan, which is awesome. But sometimes it's tricky because you're just like, okay, when it comes down to it, I don't want to lose the friendship, right? And it's like business has to do with money and it gets sticky, but it's been such an awesome partnership. We're both super detail oriented. So I went with him maybe like a few months ago, and people have been asking like, and I always want to get into product development. Like it's been such a dream of mine. And the last chocolate collaboration, thank you, was successful. We sold out. It was awesome. And then I was just like, it's been a year and a half. I need to get something going again. And this kind of, COVID thing gave me like a kick in the butt to like, okay, let's gear this up after you film Top Chef, get right into this. So I went to Christoph and he loved the idea. He was super excited. I just brought him my concepts. And so one of the concepts is this one, which is a maple syrup French toast bar. Can you see it? Might be blurred.
Yes.
And this one, there's the ingredient list on that. So
it's a little bit blurry, just because it's a little blur.
Oh, that's why. I don't know.
I wonder if you can raise your hand in front of it.
Oh, raise my hand. Ooh.
Oh, there you go. You can sort of see it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'm like, this is so annoying. That's okay. Well, you guys can see. I feel like sometimes it catches it. You get the point. This is a maple syrup French toast chocolate bar. And so we are selling them online. I mean, I would love to get them to Calgary. I'm not sure how to do that. But we're doing this one. This is with 34% white chocolate, 35% caramelized white chocolate, maple syrup, and a French toast cookie. The langue de choc cookies, those crispy, thin little French cookies, little biscuits. So we have that cookie throughout this chocolate bar. It's salty, sweet, really mapley. I didn't want it too sweet though, so we went back and forth working on the recipe. I definitely didn't want it too sweet. So we have those available, which I love. But what seems, and I really love this bar. But this is really taking off, which is the Neapolitan baked snowball, which I think you guys were so lovely at Eat North. Dan and you posted this amazingly glowing article that was very humbling, like so many kind words in there. And you guys showcased this one, which is the baked Neapolitan baked Alaska, which I think you guys can see it. Anyways, you can see it online. So this one, I think Dan's gonna be posting a snowball smash. And when you smash it, there's clusters of freeze-dried strawberries covered in ruby red strawberry chocolate and another one in dark chocolate. Then the chocolate shell on the outside is double layer of vanilla, white chocolate, as well as a milk chocolate. And then there's Neapolitan pearls, which are like crispy little chocolate pearls. So there's tons of textures going on here. You can you can boil milk and melt it over top for like a hot chocolate sort of deal. Yeah, like that's something which I haven't even showcased yet. But you can kind of pick these up. There's a QR code on the back, which is awesome. My good friend helped me make this. And so you can scan it to see that snowball smash. And I just kind of
post a video after this with the clip so people can see that. But that's amazing. I can't wait to get my hand on it. And I think that Shea Christoph actually ships nationwide. So I will try to
Absolutely. So he does ship to Calgary. The thing is try to do a bulk order so that it lessens the shipping because we're using Canada Post, and we tried to do it like the most affordable way possible. But in the end, it's just like I think bulk shipping, like collect orders and then do that because I know all like paying for shipping gets kind of annoying and it's so hard right now. But I definitely wanted to give the option because he's like, well, we can do, just BC only. I'm like, no, don't do that. Like give the option so then people have it there. I'm very excited because in Toronto, McEwen Foods, Mark McEwen is going to be selling them in his stores. You guys are first to find that out actually. I'm the first. Yeah. So you heard it here first on Eat North with Carmen is that Mark McEwen is going to be selling them at McEwen Foods in Toronto. So, people who want to buy the products in Toronto, you can buy it there. I'm very excited for that.
Well, and I'm excited. The last time you launched the chocolate, my parents lined up for an hour to pick it up for me. And so this time, I'll just do a click of a button and ship it to myself here in Calgary. You're right. It's a great tip. I'll get all my friends to put their order together. I'm excited to try it.
You guys bars anyways, you and Dan. So they're on their way. I'm very excited about that. But yeah, I mean, the concept with this is just like, this is a very Canadian bar because it's kind of a bar where we are supporting Canadian businesses and celebrating something that's maple, really nostalgic ideas, maple French toast or French toast, Neapolitan. I don't know, Carmen, maybe you can relate to this. I don't know if your parents did this, but like as a kid, did they ever buy these tubs of ice cream? Like the yellow Neapolitan ice cream. Yes. That is where the idea for this Neapolitan baked Alaska came from because I love ice cream, but my parents as a kid, they used to buy these good value, bucket 4 liter of like really cheap ice cream. And I hated it. I'd only eat like the vanilla and the chocolate. So I kind of wanted to do like a sophisticated version of it and then also just make it like very grown up or interactive as well with like the smash and have it like playful. So that was the concept between these. But I hope you guys like them. You have to let me know how you like them.
Yeah, it's super fun, and I can't wait to try. I can't wait to get my hands on it. And I think just out of respect for your time, because I know you're super busy. I mean, thank you so much for coming on and giving us a sneak peek of your chocolates. And when I get my hands on it, I'll definitely show it on here as well, and maybe we'll do a little on Instagram. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. No, thank you guys for having me. You guys have always been super supportive of like literally every single thing I do, from Top Chef to chocolate products and just in general. So I really appreciate you. Look at you taking compliments. You're like, I don't want them. No, I miss you guys a ton. Hopefully it's not going to be too long before I'm back in Calgary again and we can get the gang together.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mijun.
Yeah. Okay, bye Carmen. Bye Dan.
That was a great little chat. I think those chocolates seem so amazing, and she said they're in the mail. They better be in the mail for us.
I love Mijun. Yeah. I think she makes Top Chef Canada for me. She's a little scary as a judge, I hear from chefs that compete.
They always say that, yeah.
Yeah, but I also think that she brings such good knowledge and honesty and transparency to her judging, which is awesome.
Absolutely. And Steve, have you met Mijun before?
I have not, no,
okay.
But now I'm afraid to meet her.
So I take it you weren't on this recent tape season of Top Chef Canada, just to know.
No. I had other things going on.
Yes.
Maybe one day.
That's fair. Yeah, but I've always admired her hustle. I've known her for years. We sort of grew up in this industry together over the years, so it's been really great to watch her success. And she definitely works hard for it. She is a hard-working food media person, that is for sure.
That's amazing.
And incredibly passionate about the food.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had many heated debates about food with her, that's for sure. Which I typically lose, actually, I will say that. But anyway, Mijun, if you're watching, we love you here at Eat North and Eat North Variety Pack. And next up, we have also have an amazing chef out of Toronto. We have Nui Regular, who is the owner of Kin and Pie in Toronto. She just put out a brand new cookbook, and I don't know if you've ever had the chance to eat at one of her restaurants. Have you, either of you?
No.
Oh.
I have not, and my friend Anna actually was looking at our lineup, and she's telling me all these amazing things about Nui, and I can't believe that I haven't gone to her restaurants. And now with COVID, I don't know when I'm going to get to Toronto.
She is a phenomenal person. I remember It's always great when you can look back and remember exactly what you ate the first time you went to a restaurant, and that happened to me at Kin probably 3 or 4 years ago now, I would say. And I just went for a casual lunch. I was there with Pei Chen, another food media person in Toronto, and she was raving about this place. And we sat down for lunch, and I had this delicious sort of sweet and sour Thai soup, not tom yum, it was something completely different. And I just ate the soup and remember thinking there's something special in this restaurant. And so every time I went back to Toronto, which was fairly often before the pandemic, I would always eat there. And the food is beautiful. She cooks some royal Thai cuisine, so it's a lot more delicate dishes often pardon me, in terms of presentation and whatnot. But her food is phenomenal. So we chatted with her also earlier today. She was all set up in the kitchen, and I get to make some red curry paste with her and chat a bit about her new cookbook. So I'm going to show that now.
Awesome.
All right, now we have hopped over to Toronto. I am virtually hanging out in the kitchen with Nui Regular, co-owner of Pie and Kin in Toronto. How are you doing today?
สวัสดีค่ะ Thank you for having me today. I'm doing great.
We are very excited to have you on the show. Personally, I am a huge fan of Kin and Pie. I love your restaurants. I love your cooking. So it's really an honor to have you on the show. But first, I want to say congratulations with your new cookbook. Just came out. I have it here.
Thank you so much. ขอบคุณค่ะ
It's beautiful. So I can't wait to read it. We'll talk a bit about that in a little bit. But why don't you tell me what it's been like having to operate 2 restaurants in Toronto during the pandemic? I know the city recently had to shut dining services again, so it must be a challenging time.
It's very difficult for us, and yes, we shut down the dining, which because we just reopened in the late April.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily that we at Pie can do takeout.
Right.
So you can serve our customers with takeout or pick up. And at Kin, we totally have to shut down the whole dining. We have our customers asking for our takeout at Kin, which at first I wasn't able to do it because it's so delicate.
Right.
It's experience that you want to come in and with everything that we'll explain and with the service that we have. But our customer said, you know what, I miss Kin food so much. Let's make some takeout for us. And now I consider to make some items for takeout, the one that can travel well.
Absolutely. I've eaten at Kin many times over the years, and I still dream about this wing bean salad you used to have on the menu as well, which is so delicious. So could you ship that to Calgary for me?
I would love to. We're probably going to be have some recipe in the future. For
yes,
sure.
Absolutely. I love that. So with your second location of Pie opening soon, what has it been like also to try to open a new restaurant during the pandemic? Because that's also probably not something that's easy to do.
Not our ideally, but because the Pie at Young Eglinton location, it's 2 years project. So it's happened way before the COVID happened. And we almost going to be ready before the pandemic hit us. But we have to pause during that time, or the construction had to stop. And yeah, now it's almost ready, and we think we cannot be longer for the waiting time. So we decided to, once the kitchen done inspections, we're going to do takeout at that location.
That's great. I'm sure it will do well.
Yeah, for that, because with the team at Pie, that we cannot employ them back 100%. So we still have many of our team that can go to help a new location. I'm just so lucky in that way.
Oh, that's great. Absolutely. And so when do you think it's going to open? In November, December?
Yes.
November.
I hope it happens in November.
Okay, which is just around the corner. So there isn't really, I know you mentioned the Kin is not operating right now, but I've traveled a lot across Canada. I've eaten a lot, many restaurants, and I find there's nowhere else that's really like Kin. So why do you think Kin is so special?
Kin is so special because it's the cuisine that not many restaurants that have in Canada. It's a royal cuisine inspiration. Royal cuisine back then it was cooking only in the royal family or the palace, but later on they expand more to the people can learn, and the way to cook the food is so delicate. The art in there, the colorful, the taste. So that's why it's built up to like how Kin is so different from other restaurants.
Absolutely. And again, the food that you put out there is absolutely beautiful. And that's why I was very excited to get this new book in the mail. And it just came out this week. I can't wait to sit down and read through it and also cook some dishes from it. But you're going to cook something from the book today, right?
Yes, I'm going to cook something from the book, which is my first cookbook named Skin, similar to the name that we
Great.
Inspiration. Because the word kin, it means to eat. It means so much, like in our culture, to eat is like bring people together to enjoy with the family celebrations, or even like with the learning during the like a family generation to generation. So today I will show you how to make the red curry paste, which is one of the one of the recipe in my kin cookbook.
Sounds good to me. So let's get started.
Yes, the red curry paste is in the base of making red curry, or even making our appetizer, the deep fried shrimp balls, or in the stir fry dishes with the green beans. So the red curry, it's something that you can make ahead of time, and you can keep in the fridge for up almost 2 weeks, or you can even freeze them. But the portion that I make, the recipe, it's only you for like 2 portions when you use other stuff. So I like to make it really small, so it's easy for you to work, because like you see today I have motan pesto to show you how to make it. All the hard work that we go into there, it's just gonna give us so much appreciation when we cook and eat the food.
Absolutely.
Let's start it with the ingredients. So the red curry paste, we have the dry and wet ingredients. So the dry ingredients will be the white peppercorn, some of the coriander seed, cumin seed, and I have dry chili, which is we have to soak in the warm water and to soften it, and then you just cut it into small pieces and squeeze the water out. And then I have this one here. It's a paprika. Paprika is something that I found give out the very beautiful colors, because the chili that we have in Canada, sometimes we don't get the same pigment color that I have back home. So the paprika doesn't change the taste, and at the same time it gives a beautiful bright red color. And some sea salt. So the raw ingredients will be lemongrass, which is be sliced into thin, and galanka. Galanka is similar to ginger. It's a family of ginger, but it has spicier and very floral aroma. And then we have garlic. So in here I have Thai garlic, which is a very small pieces like this. Thai garlic, I use it with skin, so we don't peel skin off the way that I cook my curry. But it might be hard if some people might not access to the Thai garlic. You can use a regular garlic pulp, and then we just need to peel the skin off and thin slice. So the next one will be shallots. And the other one, this one here, it's makud lamb. So makud lamb, it has a different texture from regular lamb, which the skin is a little bit rough, and it had a beautiful floral. Once you grated the zest out, this one is going to use and make it different in the red curry we have. However, if you cannot find, which sometimes you can find in fresh Asian market or frozen one, you can use the lamb leaves to substitute it, just slice. So this one give a very beautiful lamb zest flavor, zest aroma as well. And lastly, it's shrimp paste. So if you open shrimp paste and smell it, it can be very crunchy. But one is a give umami. It give one of the secret in a curry paste. This is all ingredients that we're going to make it for red curry paste. So to start up, I will roast the dry spices. The pan already heated up for a while, while we're waiting for us, and we toasted this one. So to toast that the dry spices, I go to the medium heat and moving things around, toast it for a couple minutes until it have a beautiful aroma, and then you have to rest them a little bit. So I toast this one with already ready. So then just speed our process just a little bit. So after you toasted them, you cool down, and then you get ready to go. So I use the mortar and pestle. The mortar and pestle, I use a stone one because the stone one it's it's heavy. It just grind better curry paste. And if you don't have the stone mortar and pestle, you can either use the wooden one or the clay one, but it's going to be a little bit harder. But if you don't have the mortar and pestle, you can also use the food processor as well. But
mortar and pestle, I like a mortar and pestle because it's a good workout too. So kind of getting 2 for 1 here. Delicious food and a good workout.
That's right. So, instead of have that hour for workout, you have an hour to delicious Thai food. So this spice, you just grind. You can either roll around to fry to very fine paste. Or go like this, hold it upside down, put your hand cover, the flame or the aroma. It's so much beautiful here.
That's what I love about curry paste like this is it's all about the aromatics, right? So when you use it in really anything, it just has so much flavor, and just that smell I find, especially this time of year when it's getting cooler out, is so comforting.
Yes, and it's bring Thailand to your kitchen.
Yes, because we can't go to Thailand.
Yes.
Maybe soon.
Yeah, like you said, we can't go to Thailand. You're looking at beautiful pictures that in my cookbook that can just give you the Thailand at home, and then just like when the time can be normal again, we can travel to Thailand.
I do. That's a really good point. I do think it is a great time for this book to come out when people can't travel, because we like to talk about this a lot on the show, how we love to travel through food, and we're lucky to do that in Canada because we have so many chefs like yourself that are bringing such wonderful international cuisines here, and it's really something special.
Thank you. So the one that I just add in there is salt and squeeze. Dry red chili. So dry red chili that I use is a big red chili because it's not so spicy, and at the same time it gives a very beautiful color. So after you fry to the fry paste, you add paprika, which you fry, and sea salt.
And now the paprika is not traditional, but you use it in Canada because of the chilies here don't have the color.
Pigment color, because I find that even back home, sometimes the pigment color is depend vary with the years, because if the crop doesn't have a beautiful red color, bright color, so when it dry out, when you make curry, the color won't be there. But the paprika is always have give the beautiful bright color.
I love that.
And at the same time, it doesn't give the shade to the original flavor that I'm looking for.
No, that's a great tip.
Now you can work out more with the dry ingredients. So some of the lemongrass, so I thinly slice them because it's easy to grind. So you just make all so the way to make it is just like leave your mortar upside down and then go to the side. Put your hand to cover in case there's some spices in your eyes.
Yeah, no chilies, no shallots in the eyes.
The thing is, the eye is very small target, only two spots, but chili or anything in the mortar seem to be like find a way to land it very, very perfectly in your eyes. So after that, you will add galangal. So I thinly slice galangal. And we grind this one.
So why don't you tell me a bit about the process of putting this cookbook together? It's probably a lot of work to take these recipes you're used to making in the restaurant and make them, scale them down for a home cook. Yeah,
so I have my customer always ask me, how should I do to make the Thai food same taste as you, I said there is some technique in there. There's some of the special ingredients that you have to pay attention to. There's the way that how you take time to allow some of the ingredients to bring out the flavor, bring out aroma, bring out the oil. So all the small little things like that, I put it in the cookbook.
Great.
And so the red curry, after you fry the garlic, so you will add shallot. I like to add shallot almost at last, but not laster than the lamb set. because the lamb zest is like very strong as well.
Right.
You fry them. So this is fried until it go to like a 5 paste.
Mm-hmm. And then this recipe is in your book, I'm assuming, right? You can find the recipe in Kin?
Yes.
Yes. Beautiful.
Find it. That's at the back of the book. There's a curry paste and some condiments there. So at home you will have more time than me because of the basic time that here. So I just show you how I'm doing it. So instead of hold the bottom down, hold up the top. So then swing and use your hand, go like that.
Well, if someone wanted to buy a mortar and pestle like that, where would they find that?
They can find it online.
Okay.
Yeah, online market or even Asian market they have in the area as well.
Great.
Right now they're very well stocked with all the different cuisine in the world. So it seems like they have everything we need in the Asian markets and even online.
Absolutely. So we're coming to the end of the segment here. This curry paste, I wish I'm pretending to smell it virtually, but I'm sure it smells absolutely amazing in the kitchen there. I have one last question for you. You've also been on a couple seasons of the popular Food Network Canada series Wall of Chefs as one of the many chefs on the judging panel. What's it like being involved with a production like that?
Oh, the Wall of Chef, it's an amazing show that I feel like there is a 12 knowledge that you can pick from the chef on the wall, because the chef is there not just judging, they give some tips, some technique, they have some of the very opinions about how they cook things. So you get not just the entertaining, you just get the knowledge, you just get the happiness, the passion that between the contestant and the chef that like participate, and the beautiful food that they're making there, and then happy and everything together. I'm so honored to be part of the Wall of Chef.
I do think it's a fantastic show. It's nice seeing chefs. And again, it is a competition, but I think there's a lot of positive things that come out of that series in particular. And it's just great to see such an amazing array of Canadian chefs on the show. It's nice to see Food Network kind of switch things up that way and feature a lot of different restaurateurs from across the country. So anyway, I will leave you to continue mortar and pestling that curry paste. But again, congratulations on this beautiful new book, Kin, out bookstores across Canada and online now. And I can't wait to one day come back to Toronto and sit down at one of your restaurants.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great. I just love, again, Nui's food is phenomenal, and just what a lovely personality. I feel like that even radiated through the screen, didn't it?
I am so jealous. You got to talk to her and go through that demo with her. And my friend who talks about her and is such a fan of Nui is Thai herself. And we talked about how, I saw her with her big mortar and pestle and grinding the spices, and how legit, she is with her cooking, and it's awesome.
I love it. And to have her also on a show like Wall of Chefs on Food Network Canada, which we haven't talked about a ton on this show, but the judges that are on the show, it's a very diverse panel, and it's very a lot of people of color, a lot of women chefs, a lot of new faces to Food Network. So when that show first came out, I was happy, because I think that the network definitely needed a bit of a refresh, and that show provided that. And having someone like her on the show is phenomenal, I think.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
This brings us to the end of the show, and I like to wrap up Eat North Variety Pack with a fun chat with a musician, and also to hear a song. And tonight we have a Newfoundlander. I think this is our first Newfoundlander ever on the show, so very exciting. So I'm going to talk with country singer Justin Fancy, who's based out of St. John's. Justin, thanks for being on the show tonight.
Yeah, man, it's an absolute pleasure, for sure.
Do you have any screech with you?
No screech tonight. No, it's what I like to call. I still like to call it a school night, but it's not a school night for me anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's probably not good for me either, because I haven't had dinner yet, so I don't think I could have anything that hard. But anyway, let's talk. You just released your debut album just last week, or 2 weeks ago now, I guess. How's that going for you?
It's been a whirlwind. There's a lot of hype going around, which is exactly what we wanted when we released the record. I think a lot of positives from it that I'll take. I just actually did my album release show this past Saturday night, and that went very well, both online and at the venue. And I was a little nervous because of the pandemic, and we just pulled everything off the exact way we wanted to. So I can't say enough about the production crew and everybody involved there.
Oh, that's great to hear. And we were talking before we went live, but I do feel like Newfoundland is actually a fairly decent place to be if you're a musician right now, because you can actually perform in venues, which is not really the case in a lot of major Canadian cities right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We are doing it to a small extent. I know the pubs on George Street are they've been doing it for a little while now. We've kept our cases low when it comes to the pandemic, and of course, we have stringent guidelines, wearing masks in venues until you're seated and all that good stuff. And I'm just hoping it stays that way. I know you guys, it's a little unfortunate right now. It's kind of spinning back up, but I just hope the best for everybody, and just hoping to see music come back.
Oh, absolutely. And we try and keep it alive, albeit virtually, but I think every little bit helps these days. But with your album, I'm sure it was a long time in the making, but one thing that I love about you is that you actually wrote all of the songs yourself.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and I actually had a set number of songs I was going to put on the record, and set songs for that matter, and I ended up writing a few over the pandemic that actually made it on the record. So gave me a little more creative time, we'll say, and I've just been trying to take this this pandemic and spin it in the best way possible, and get in contact with people like you. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic that I can play for you tonight, and you've heard about me over the pandemic, so I must be doing something right if you're all the way west and I'm all the way east. So
well, I think there's something so charming about your music. And Tribute's a good time. I think it's a fantastic album from start to finish. But again, it's coming back to the songwriting part of it. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of country artists don't write their songs. The songwriting industry is a huge sort of subsect of all musical genres, but in country particularly. So I think the fact that you wrote all of your own songs for the album is quite uncommon.
Oh yeah, no, I really appreciate that, and it is. I'm starting to learn that for sure as I dig in. I've actually gotten invited to a couple of songwriter sessions with different artists that I've met over the pandemic. So it's something that I always wanted to do. There's some old songs on there, and most of them are new that I would have written in the last year or so. I'm just I just got that extra inspiration. Whether it be from a relationship, all my songs come from emotion and heart, and I just, whatever it was in the last year, I mean, it was even pre-pandemic that I had this idea. I always wanted an idea, I always wanted to put out a record, and it's something I'm really, really proud of, and just to share that with you guys and get the feedback that I've been getting, it's truly, truly, it's motivational and also inspirational to be able to, pull off something like that.
Well, I think authenticity always shines through, and I feel like with your music, it really does. So,
I appreciate it.
Congratulations on that. And why don't you wrap us up with this song? You're gonna play your current single, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely do that. Thanks for having me.
All right, my pleasure.
Having beers with my friends, with you on the back door of my mind. That night, last night, it sure was a good time. Those days have gone, where we would stay up till the break of dawn, living life on the edge, 'cause I'm wrapped up in you now. Every time I hear that country song, I'm thinking about the good times that we had alone. I don't know what my life is, but it sure means a good time now. Singing it up and grooving it down, singing songs that make your love go round and round. Is this what life is all about? 'Cause it sure means a good time now. Yeah, it sure means a good time now. When I was young, I used to pray for Friday to come now, 'cause I wanted a little time with my friends. Then I met you, all I want is peace, a little dine and a bottle of wine, I can't help it, 'cause it sure beats the time now. Every time I hear that country song, I'm thinking about the good times that we had along. I don't know what my life is, but it sure means a good time now. Singing it up and grooving it down, singing songs that make your love go round and round. Is this what life is all about? Yes, it sure means a good time now. Yeah, it sure means a good time now. Oh. Maybe life got its curveballs, that's so true. Maybe life got a way to make you slow down. 'Cause there are reasons for this life, yeah. Every time I hear that country song, I'm thinking about the good times that we had alone. I don't know what my life is, but it sure means a good time now. Singing it up and grooving it down, singing songs that make your love go round and round. It's just what life is all about. 'Cause it sure means a good time now. Yeah, it sure means a good time now. Oh, making love go round. Yeah, it sure means a good time now. Yeah.
It was great.
Oh, thank you very much.
Awesome.
Great way to take us out. That's awesome. Again, Justin, congratulations on all the success with the new album. Sure Beats a Good Time is available all streaming platforms, everywhere. Download it, stream it, do everything with it. Yeah. Can you get vinyls? Like, what's available for it? Everything? Do you have
Vinyl is going to be available next week. But you can go to my website, justinfancymusic.ca. You can order everything there, sweaters, t-shirts. I even got custom logo masks.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
All the merch.
Yeah. When in the pandemic,
sure.
right? Anyway.
Dan, I'm going to send you out some as well.
Oh, that's great.
Definitely.
Great. Oh,
I will
wear it on the
definitely
show.
do that.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Justin, and to my lovely co-hosts Carmen, Cheng, and Steve Brochu. It's been another fun episode of Eat North Variety Pack. So thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you all next week.
Thanks for joining us, Steve.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
And thanks, Justin.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Eat North Variety Pack. Food and friends with Canada's best. From east to west, there and back. Eat North Variety Pack. 'Cause variety's the spice of life.